Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to TED Talks Ball. We were been kicking around a name change for a weekly show here between David McNiner and myself. Maybe we should ask the audience what they think. It seemed like what we came up with was a possible one would be McBall Levin, a little play on McLevin from Superbad. I always like to pick comedy movies like, with Pedro, we did Who Voted for Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. So anyway, if anybody has a better idea for a name for the show, feel free to chime in. Let us know. We're open to suggestions. We're not married to anything, as far as YouTube goes. So hit us up. Let us know. But David McNiner, McNuevo. How are you doing on this fine hump day, the schedule release day?
Well, it's a good day. Most of the schedule's out. There's kind of some time still need to be ironed out on a few games, but for the most part, it's out.
Yeah.
And we're opening the season Monday night against the Jets and Robert Saleh.
Yes.
That's an interesting opening game, It's a home opener too, right?
That's right. We haven't had one of those in a minute.
So, they have a good defense. But look at Shanahan's record against his disciples. And, this includes a lot of coaches that were with him in Washington and Atlanta, just guys that are associated with him. Overall, he does pretty good against, people that he's coached with. So ought to be a good test right off the bat for the team, though.
Yeah. It's a great test. Kyle does have ownage over his disciples, his proteges, if you will. We have ownage over Rodgers in the playoffs. However, in the regular season, last two games I can remember we lost, which was COVID and so 2020 and then 2021 we lost when Jimmy G scored too fast and gave Aaron Rodgers too much time to go to. He also threw an interception, and he had that fumble where he wasn't even touched. He coughed up the ball. That was when I turned on Jimmy G. Week 3 of 2021. Never forget. Anyway, it's going to be a really interesting matchup, and we'll talk more about that here in a second. Let's say hello. There's a few people here in the comments. Say hello to the folks who have showed up here. We got Bebop Jones in the house. Got Brian Culp in the house. Smash the like button, everyone. He says, let's go Niners. Let's freaking frack and go. Got Jimmy in the house saying, yo, what's up, Jimmy? Brian's got the popcorn. He's fired up. Jimmy saying, what's up, Ted? Not much, Jimmy. Better know that you're here. Thanks for being here. Brian saying Dave and Ted. Absolutely. David McNiner, McNuevo. And this is all before the show even started. Man, these guys are busy. Got Danbury Sports Highlights. Stop by early, too. He has his own channel. Make sure you check him out. Make sure you check out Brian Culp's channel and Tony Culp's channel. But Daniel Barry's a Rams fan, but he's actually pretty cool. So make sure you check him out. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, however you like to refer to it. Hump Day. We got Normal Guy in the house saying, what up? Not much for Normal Guy. Daniel Barry's here. So that's still early. We got Red Jet Shell in the house saying, what's up, chat? And 49ers Ultimate Report, John Jay in the house. What's up, John? Welcome. And I know I'm off. I kept thinking you're going live at 3:30. I'm like, God, there's so many early people. I'm such a numbnuts. We went live 3:21, 3:22, so that's why. So these weren't all early. Only there's a few early ones by Bryant Culp and Bebop. The rest are game time. That makes a lot more sense. But whoops. Hold on one sec. Sorry, I was just trying to watch us on a couple different tabs, my show and your show, so that we can get a few more views that way. And I forgot to mute it. So that's a good message to people to make sure that if you watch on two tabs, make sure you mute at least one of them. If you're going live with it, mute them both. Ted, dummy. But yeah, and there I was opening yours, and that wasn't muted either. I did a update on my computer, software update, and like, God, everything went back to like light mode instead of dark mode, and I had to log into everything again. And clearly, my YouTube wasn't muted anymore like I had it before. So, my apologies to everyone for not being fully.
I'm a big fan of dark mode. It's like the white background, with black right. It doesn't help the eyes. Dark mode is so much easier to read. So it's just I'm a big fan of it.
I kind of wish StreamYard had it so that I could have it on the background right now. But absolutely. I mean, like the light mode has its place, like out in the light and sunshine, it's hard to read the black. But if you're inside, especially at night, trying to keep from waking up the wife next to you, dark mode is pretty much the bee's knees. When I see people with light mode, I'm like, oh, you're a psychopath, man. It's just so blindingly bright. How can you handle it? So people are just
we got Jess in the building, East Coast Red and Gold. What's going on?
Well, make sure you guys check her out tonight.
5 o'clock your time, right? Pacific Standard Time.
Look at that. Red Jet, member 6 months today. Woohoo, right on. Awesome, Red Jet. Thank you. One of my earliest adopters as being a member of TED Talks Ball. I'll never forget. Absolutely. Yeah, Jess here in the house. Yeah, make sure you check her out at 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. They usually go live on Wednesdays. I don't know. You have to fill me in, Jess, on if that's still the case, because it's been a while since we've talked about it. But you're only allowed to watch Jess for an hour, and then you got to come back and watch me and Aaron and Raj. And Bash is back, folks. 49er Minded is back tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Got to switch back over to us. No offense, Jess, but an hour is enough time. You should be able to get it out in an hour. So
I was actually looking.
5 p.m. Eastern. So for East Coast Red and Gold, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's Jess, Maddie B, Bex, and of course the incomparable Ty Alston. All fun folks. Awesome. They do such great work together. In fact, this little towel right there, that's from Bex. That's oh God, I always blank out on the name of her den, the Diva Den. Diva Den. There we go. I want to say she shed. That's what my wife talks about, building a she shed out in the backyard, because we have 4 bedrooms, but now there's 4 of us, and we each have our own office. So there's a chance this might all go away, and I might get booted to the garage or the bedroom, or until that she shed, he shed, whatever you want to call it, gets built, which could be a while. We don't have a lot of spare money sitting around just waiting to buy something like that. But so I've been going on for a minute here, David. Go on, give us your thoughts.
But yeah, Bashar, last Tuesday, I kind of wanted to do a show, and I was thinking, who do I want to do a show with? So I hit up Bashar, and I did notice that he hadn't been on in a while, and he was like, sure. And it was his comeback show. I didn't.
Nice.
So I'm glad he picked me. That's awesome.
That is. That's a real feather in your cap. Everybody, a lot of people take time away from time to time, and it's always good. You got to have your head in the right space to do this stuff. And if you're not feeling it, better to just take a little break and get things in order. Sometimes it's work, sometimes it's whatever, get some people's way. And, it's always great when they come back. So especially great ones like Bashar. So I'm super excited to chop it up with him tonight. And Aaron's kind of back, but he's not back to where he was before by any stretch, doing like a ton of weekly regular shows. And so, Yeah, it was only be my second time
You know,
streaming with
you're
Aaron.
doing that schedule drop with him tonight. And Brian's getting right into it. You know, week 1 we got the Jets. And did you know that we haven't won at Minnesota since 1992?
I did not know that, but I knew we didn't win when Brock got his concussion there for sure. Back to the Jets real quick. John Chapman posted a little meme of like Hansel and Zoolander from the Zoolander movie, and he said it's Brock and Sam Darnold, when they meet each other. And I said only if Brock is Hansel, because he was like, "You can derelict my balls." I love that line. El Capitan. Anyway, I just feel like Brock is super cool, and Darnold is like kind of a bumbler, like Zoolander. Can't turn left, he maybe had his first chance to be a starter in a while, and what do? They go and draft the kid out of Michigan. I'm blanking on his name right now, but the quarterback who won the national championship, essentially, for Harbaugh. Boy, or
was it McCarthy?
McCarthy. I knew there was a
McCarthy. JJ McCarthy, I think.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy. Thank you. Yeah. Real quick, I'll call out David Corona in the house. Just what up, everyone? And 49ers all day, every day. He's asking how we're doing. Better now that you're here, David. Absolutely, David. And now I got 2 Davids. It can never be a bad thing. Shell says Bashar's back. I wouldn't miss the Grammy Superstar for the World. Yeah, maybe we'll get one of his Bash rants. That is always fun stuff when Bash gets going. I have a feeling it's going to take a few shows before he works up to that kind of froth. But never know. We might get lucky. He says, Shell says Terradome and Shell tomorrow, 7 a.m. PST on YouTube. Check that out, everyone. Always good stuff. Terradome is nothing if not entertaining, and we know Shell is amazing. So be sure to check them out. Bebop, coming to us from Bethlehem, PA. Wondering what Eagles fans and Steelers fans are thinking back there in Pennsylvania. Bebop, if you could fill us in, that would be awesome. Eric Wallace in the house. Eric is a Seahawks fan, but he's actually one of the cool ones. So always welcome here, Eric. Him and Joe Stevens, Candace Higgins are 3 of my faves of Seahawks fans. Even though they're my most hated team, they actually have some decent fans. The ones I know, the ones I don't know, they can all pound rocks, pound salt, pound whatever it is that's saying, pound sand, whatever. They can beat it. Beat Rodgers. Let's go. We need to focus on the Vikings. Yeah, I mean, we've had, like I was saying, we had playoff ownage on Rodgers, 4-0. The Niners have been 4-0 against him in the playoffs. But, 0-2 the last 2 I remember during the regular season. So now we need to include that in our ownage of Rodgers. It won't be easy. Like you said, they have a good defense. They have some good weapons. They get Fashanu, the highly ranked offensive tackle, Olu Fashanu, something like that.
He was like one of the top 3 ranked in the
according to scouts overall.
I think he was like top 2. He was the number 2 in the tackles.
Yeah, I feel like they picked scouts 11th or something like that. But we'll see. Maybe he needs some time to get going. Maybe week 1 he won't be too dominant. That'd be the hope. Bryant says Eric Wallace the GOAT. There we go. And he says it's been a while since we won in Minnesota, 92. Yeah, that's crazy. Speak of the devil, we got Aaron, 49ers First Takes in the house. He's saying, hey there. What up, Aaron? I don't know if you're here early enough when I was promoting the show at 6 tonight. Can't wait to chop it up with you. Bebop says Pittsburgh very optimistic before TJ Watt got injured. That was 2 years ago that he tore his pec? Is that what you were talking about? Or are you talking about he got injured just now? Because I hadn't heard anything.
I haven't seen any news on that, so maybe that was last year, but
Yeah, I think so. F the birds, LOL. Indeed. Although the Eagles look like they had a pretty good draft. Shell saying hi. Everybody saying hi. Vikings game is more important than the Jets. Well, sure. Vikings are NFC, and who knows, if they end up being a contender, it could have playoff implications. It could be them having a higher seed than us. If we somehow end up with a tied record and they have the head-to-head, then yeah, that could be big. Or just in general, even if NFC games count more than AFC games for us. So yeah, absolutely both those ways.
Yes, that's for sure. I don't think we didn't do so hot against the AFC last year.
No, I mean,
we lost the Browns, Cincinnati. We lost to the Ravens. We beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yes, specifically the AFC North, the black and blue division. They had their way with us. The Ravens smoked us. The Browns, we all know, Moody missed the field goal. And more importantly to me, Brock Purdy played poorly in the rain, and that's going to be a concern of mine moving forward. Anytime there's rain in the forecast in a non-dome stadium. And the Bengals was a good game. I was there. But we just came up a little bit short. Brock had been concussed the week before and played on 6 days rest. It was surprising to me that he was cleared to play on 6 days. That's unusual for concussion protocol. And it kind of looked like maybe he shouldn't play in that game. He didn't play very well. So I kind of give him a little bit of a break for everything that happened after the concussion in the Vikings game and quite a bit of the things that happened in the Bengals game. We definitely struggled with the AFC North specifically, but yeah, AFC in general in 2023. Might be Buffalo. Come to the Bills games, only an hour away. Oh, he might be in Buffalo. Yeah, when I saw that we're playing them there in Buffalo, I was thinking that would be a fun one. I have a good buddy who's a weatherman in Buffalo. His name's Pat Hammer, and it'd be fun to visit him and meet Aaron. And I've heard that the Bills Mafia is pretty intense, but I think they're pretty friendly to visiting fans. I don't think they're particularly vile like the Philadelphia Eagles fans are pretty well renowned for being the most nasty, unhospitable folks.
Big time.
Like the Bills, they'll root against you, but they're not going to like try and hurt you or spit on you or throw things at you or whatever. There's, they might make me jump off a pickup truck into a folding table or whatever, but that'd be kind of fun too. Seeing a lot of us and their party, their tailgates are pretty intense up in Buffalo. So I'd love to attend one of those. That's on my bucket list for sure. Bryant says Jets defense is really good. Absolutely, they are. They got Sauce. They got DJ Reed. They got I forget the name of their linebacker who's very highly paid. The CJ Mosley.
Yep.
They got some good defensive linemen, and not the least of which Quinnen Williams, who was picked one pick after Bosa and has pretty well lived up to that draft spot. I mean, Bosa kind of exceeded it, but Quinnen Williams has been one of the better D tackles for the last few years. And now with Aaron Donald stepping away, he might be in that conversation with like Chris Jones and I forget Jeffrey Simmons. Is that the guy for the Titans? I think those might be the top three defensive tackles now in my book. But yeah, it'll be interesting. The Jets defense is really good. And I think they drafted a few more folks on defense, if I'm not mistaken. So Aaron says, we will see. As the wise man said, time will tell, right? We will see.
It's a December 1st game, though, the Bills game.
Oh, so it'll be chilly.
Yeah.
Maybe snowy. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll have to like plan to maybe get stuck there if it snows a ton. That's the time of year where they get like these 12 feet of snow overnight type of things. They had to cancel that game this year because of it. You can't get in or out, or else people are all going to like plow the road, so at least the team members can get there to and from, and the home team, the Bills and the away team can get there to actually play the game. It's not easy logistically. But Bebop says Steelers QB situation a lot better this year. Defense is still out. My close friend's a Pittsburgh fan. Week 1, fun for me. LOL. Yeah, you got some bragging rights. We smoked them week 1, 2023. Yeah, their QB situation is a ton better. They got Russ Wilson, who I think still has some tread left on the tires. And then they got maybe the young guy who most resembles Russ Wilson. I thought Justin Fields coming out reminded me a lot, kind of like, playground, backyard, school lot, whatever you want to call it, parking lot. Not really necessarily structured player, but when things break down, Russ does really well, and I think Justin Fields does too. And, Justin, whatever you want to say about him, he's never was really given much of an O-line on the Bears. And, I mean, if your best weapon is Mooney, I forget the guy's first, Darnell Mooney, come on, that's not really – he's not a wide receiver 1. I don't even know if he's a wide receiver 2, but he's definitely not a wide receiver 1. Yeah, I think and you know what the Steelers did? They really emphasized the O-line in the draft. They got a bunch of good O-linemen, and I think that's going to work really well for Russ and for young Justin Fields as well too.
Yeah, they currently only have 12 games released out, so slowly coming out. Right.
There you go. I love it. Moody is still the villain. He's not the villain. I mean, he's just young. He's only the villain if you had really high expectations based on his draft pick. But most people know that kickers. I'll still credit Brian Peacock told me this when he came on the show, that they're reverse running backs. You think of all the best kickers ever in their late 30s. And most running backs don't make it past 30. So, they're kind of the polar opposites of each other. So expecting a lot of a rookie kicker is probably your first mistake. And so he'll – not you, Bryant. I just meant people in general, And so we just got to be patient with him. He'll come around. He'll be great. I have every belief that Moody will be great in time. And hopefully sooner rather than later.
Rookie kickers typically struggle in the NFL, and Jake Moody had kind of the same numbers as Robbie Gould did in his last year. So for his rookie season, he did pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
And then, no, he did for sure. Brian says Hammer time. So, yeah, my buddy's name is Pat Hammer. That's actually not his real name. It's his real middle name. He was Patrick Hammer, and then he had a different last name, and he just dropped that, and it was Pat Hammer. And so that's his sort of his, we'll call it stage name, but his on-air name for doing the weather and stuff. But he had a cool video on Facebook too during the eclipse that they were in the path of totality there in Buffalo, and so if you get a chance, check that out. So Aaron says, me and Ted are big old dudes, we'll be fine. Yeah, well, I got your back, buddy. Although sadly, I'm shrinking a little bit with all this bike riding. Last I checked, I was a scotch under 300, down from about 335 at my peak. Maybe during Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. It's always tough to lose weight with the candy, the turkey, and the stuffing, and this in general, the holidays, all the eating. And lack of exercise when it's raining and nasty out. But I'm hoping by that time, I'm hoping to be closer to 250. Honestly, we'll see if I can keep up the riding and eating a little bit less. I like to do half meals, or I order what I always used to order. So if I just cut it in half and eat half now and try and save half for later. If I get hungry, I've always got that half. I can always eat it. But a lot of times I would eat before my stomach told me I was full. And so, and defensive eating is a thing in my family. It's like, oh, you might get hungry, so eat now. And, it's better just to wait till you're actually hungry. That can help you lose some weight. I'm also trying to work on my gut health too. I've been seeing a lot of things that make me believe that a lot of the things that ALS are from not having good gut enzymes, not digesting the food that we do eat properly. And so I'm trying to work on that too. With like yogurt, and they have these probiotic sodas now that are sugar-free that are pretty good, and they're not using the nasty sweeteners. They're using what you call it, stevia or whatever. Moody has that S eating grandma after he misses kicks, which I think what gets to people. That got to me. Did that bug you, McNiner?
Not really, because it could be like a nervous twitch.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Everyone has like their different nervous twitch. Like this lady at my work, like whistles when she's nervous. She's whistling. It's like, yeah. So you see her whistling. It's like, yeah, stay away.
Get her.
Everyone has their thing, right?
I want to play some cards with her. Anyone who has good tells like that is great. High stakes poker. Let's do it. Do it up. That's fun. Yeah, I did feel bad for him. There was one of the games. I think it must have been at the Browns games where they interviewed him. He just looked like he was about to start crying, and I was just like, "Suck up, man!" But it's good that he cares. I'd rather have that than just feel like, well, whatever. I don't really care. So, yeah. Redjet says drink a ton of water so it kills the hunger altogether, but also eat snacks all the time. Snack monster. Well, there's different schools of thoughts on that, but I think again that's the thing is eat when you're hungry and don't like eat to keep from getting hungry. So even if that means snacks, I think that's probably better than just like having some monster meal when you're not really feeling just because you're like, it's hard when you're working too. You're like about to go to work and that's not the easiest place to eat. And so that's a lot of ways you can eat defensively too. Or like, getting on a road trip and, it's going to be a long trip and you got to deal with feeding the kids and stuff and maybe not yourself as much. So those can be pitfalls for sure. Most times you're thirsty when you're hungry. See, all right. So this is their Bebop's backing up shell on that. High quality H2O. We did just get we had a Brita pitcher for a long time with a water filter and we got a different one. I want to say it's called Pure. But it's like filters out way more stuff. I think good water is important, especially now that, regular water. Here in the Valley, Silicon Valley, you got to remember there's a lot of like high-tech manufacturing that goes on here, and especially that went on here. And a lot of times those companies, they weren't very careful with what they did with the byproducts. And a lot of times they just like, put it right into the ground, and then eventually that stuff seeps into groundwater. And so the groundwater here in the Bay Area, South Bay, is not the greatest. So you got to be careful what comes out of the pipes.
Believe it or not, here in Utah, we have Hill Air Force Base. Back during World War II, they buried a bunch of solvents in barrels, which is bad, right? And over the course of time, the barrels rust and everything seeped into the ground. And then there's actually like Hill Air Force Base, there's houses they own that are, near the low spots where the seepage went. And, they're monitoring them to see how hazardous it is. But, over the course of time, of course, Mother Nature's taking care of it. But there are still areas like, you don't want to live or buy a house right now.
Good to know. Yeah, it's always good to keep in mind. No doubt about it. Real quick before I roll out, if anyone sees Jim Everett or Amelia, I think they're saying one F off. Yeah, I think Jim Everett got banned. My moderators got tired of hearing him spout off in here. I let him back once or twice, and I just stopped doing it. So I think he's a thing of the past on this channel. He was a pretty good viewer though, so I mean it's like always hard to.
He's a faithful. He's always on 49ers chats, but yeah. The stuff he says, I just don't pay attention to it. VHS tape. I always tell him that's what your highlights are on.
Yeah, exactly. You love that line. Aaron's saying he paces and slams stuff or talks to himself when he's pissed. Yeah, no doubt about it. That's crazy. Listen to Jets saying it's listen to rap music. Sue's the Savage Torch Center. Ah, there you go. Air pollution, highest in the country, I guess, in Bethlehem, PA. I mean, back in the day with all the steel production, that would have made sense. Now it just must be more like smog from metropolitan areas nearby would be my guess, and freeways.
Well, during the industrial age, they pumped a lot of stuff into the air they probably shouldn't.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
This is back when we used to melt and play with molten lead with no protection on, and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Shell says, "Make me a mod, pretty please." We can talk about that. I pretty usually don't have too many mods, but I'm open to the idea. Absolutely, for you, Shell. Bebop says, "No, I must have got that wrong. Maybe it is still from the steel." Rick Diaz in the house. Hey, well, welcome back, and no need to apologize. But like I said, things get busy, and come on back anytime. Always welcome, Rick. Good to see you. Peo time in the house. He's actually a pretty cool Rams fan too, along with Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Peo has his own channel. He's been a frequent guest on the show. His name's Zach, and he's really cool, friend of all of ours, and really awesome guy. Couldn't recommend him more highly unless he wasn't a Rams fan. That's the only way. But great guy, no doubt about it. Oh, he said in Cali, Visalia, in LA. Okay, so the worst air. Yeah, no doubt. LA has terrible air quality. The smog is legendary there. And again, that's from freeways, mostly from cars, from pollution. 4 hours are going to play New York Jets week 1, and that's going to be a game challenge. Yes, absolutely. No,
Did you
you're
see
right.
the 6 primetime games?
6 for us? I never heard of that before. I thought 5 was the max. I mean, without being flexed. I mean, I knew you could get a 6 flexed. I never heard.
No, that they could.
I never heard of 6
stuff happens
out of the chutes, like scheduled. That's pretty awesome.
And yeah, because you have the Jets obviously on Monday night. That's
right.
Obviously a primetime game. But then you go a few weeks into it. Week 6, we got Thursday night football again at the Seahawks. That's October 10th.
Right.
Oh, so we're not going to be eating turkey. That's disappointing. Sunday night football against the Cowboys at the home game.
Yeah.
And then the next one, Sunday night versus the Bills.
Yeah.
At Buffalo. Thursday night, week 15 against the Rams.
That's right.
And then Monday night football, week 17 against the Lions.
Yeah, that could be a huge one. That could be for the number 1 seed in the NFC if things hold true like they did last year. Yeah, that's 6. And like I said, we could get flexed into another one, or maybe they said, no, you can't get flexed since you're already in 6. I can't imagine we could get 7. That would be insanity. Real quick, let's say I had Jason, Captain, Niner, Smash Massey. St. Talofa Faithful, that's Hello Faithful, and Samoan. Everybody make sure you check out his channel. He's doing great stuff. Red Jets out. She says F, go Niners, F the other 32 teams. Actually, it's 31 teams, Shell, but we know what you meant. I'm just nitpicking. Thanks, Peo. I appreciate it. Zach, can you adjust? Are you going to be a good team? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, boy. Yeah, Chargers should do well with Harbaugh. I don't think much of our sort of defensive, what do we want to call him, advisor, Brandon Staley. So I think they should have a nice bounce back. It's just weird to me that they got rid of all the receivers, so I think that's going to be tough for them. They didn't really draft a ton, so I think they're going to be needing some receivers, which, is not unusual for a Harbaugh team.
Well, you
Eric
know how
said,
Harbaugh likes to run the ball. So
yeah, he does.
They drafted Joe Alt with the 5th overall pick. That is absolutely no surprise.
Yeah, no, it's not. Eric says he hopes Seattle gets a home game week 17. Okay, I guess that's still TBD. It hasn't been leaked. It'll be cold up there that time of year, but I'm sure you're used to it, Eric. Let's F and go. I'll take 6. I'll take a 5-bar too, though. I like a take 5-bar too, though. Yeah, there you go. Take 5s are pretty good. It's the Reese's and the pretzels. That's kind of what sets it apart. The pretzel crunch, pretty tasty. I had a few of those over Halloween. That's why, like I said, had plenty of easy weight to lose when I started pedaling with my son in January. Bebop says Smash Man. I'm not sure I know it. Maybe he means Smash the Take 5-bar. I think the rule used to be 5, but a few years ago they changed it when Amazon and other streamers started offering big money, and now there's no limit to primetime games. Interesting. So how many do the Chiefs have? How many do, the Bills would be another big draw. Cowboys, obviously, not because they're any good, just because they still, as far as I know, have the most fans. America's team.
For some reason.
Niners really are. Yeah.
I have to agree with that. The Niners really are. All the stadiums to go to, you got to see a red.
Oh, yeah. We have the best traveling fan base in the NFL. So they have the best TV watching fan base. We have the best ones that actually show up at the games. So, yeah, I think that counts more. Is it strange to have no? Yeah, it's strange. And honestly, Zach, it's like, it sort of demotivated me a little bit this off season. I haven't been streaming nearly as much as I did last off season. There was no surgery, there's no rehab, there's no Lance versus Purdy. You can focus on the other parts of the team, which is nice. But ultimately, I'm kind of waiting for camp. I did a little bit around the draft, obviously, and waiting for training camp. I was able to attend all 9 open practices last year, hoping to get at least 5 or 6 this year, maybe all 9.
Does the Christmas game count as prime time? It does, right?
Only if it's in prime time. I mean, I guess all day should be considered prime time.
It should be, right? Because the Chiefs play on Christmas against the Steelers.
Okay.
And then they have a Friday game. That'd be Friday night, week 13.
That's prime time.
So that's 2. A lot of their times haven't been announced yet. They got a Monday night, that's 3, and then they open on a Thursday. So they so far at least have 4.
Okay.
With a lot of the times not released yet. So they could still end up with some Sunday night football games.
I'd be shocked if they don't have at least 5. Yeah. Shocked and dismayed. That's because last offseason was beefing. Yeah, dude, I was like digging my grave a little bit last offseason, being a little too harsh on Purdy and his fans. And and I still feel pretty good about the things I said at the time. It's just he really proved me wrong during the season by improving. God bless him. I always said I'd rather be happy than right, and I'm happy to have a really good quarterback. So hopefully people can forgive and forget and move on. But I was kind of a snot to some people, and I understand it may take some time to rebuild those bridges and mend those fences. So we'll see. We got Sin in the house. Cinnamon Kiss, welcome. Saying hey, Ted and David. Nice to see you, Sin. Thank you, Cynthia. I guess you dropped the cinnamon kiss, but I still remember. So I'm sorry if I brought up an old moniker for you there. So should we talk some more about our schedule? I mean, that was sort of the point of the show, right? So we got Jets Monday night, week 1 at Levi's. We got Vikings at Vikings, week 2 in Minnesota.
Haven't won there since 1992. That's going to be an interesting one to watch.
I'm chalking it up as a win. They don't have It's going to be Sam Darnold or rookie J.J. McCarthy leading them. Come on. I mean, they got Justin Jefferson.
Same area, man. What if the guy just like shows up beast mode revenge game? No, I'm just kidding.
They got Hawkinson. They got the young guy from last year who killed us when Jefferson was out. Madison. He's got an M.
It was Addison. I think he was a rookie last year.
Madison. Yeah, Madison was the running back. They got some nice pieces, but I don't know that their O-line is fixed, and I don't know that their D is fixed, and I definitely don't trust Darnold and J.J. McCarthy. I'd be shocked if he doesn't take some time to, get acclimated to the NFL.
They let Danielle Hunter walk too, though.
Yeah, right? That's a big one. Yeah, he's a monster on the D end. Yeah, no, I think I have either the Packers or the Lions winning that division, and then I think I have the Bears ahead of the Vikings. I think the Vikings are cellar dwellers in the NFC North, which isn't necessarily saying that much because last year the NFC North, you could argue, is one of the best divisions in football because we played the Packers in the divisional round and the Lions in the NFC Championship game. No other division went further in the NFC last year. I mean, other than us making the Super Bowl, but as a division, they did really well. And I don't recall any of the AFC divisions doing much better either. So I thought NFC North, and it seems like they did well in the offseason, both Packers and Lions, and of course the Bears. So we'll see. Jason wants to know who's coming to Seattle. Y'all can crash at my place. Seattle's a nice town, no doubt about it. I just I'm a burger guy, and I didn't find any good burger places when I was there. So that's my big knock. But they have great seafood, and it was I would say nice weather when I was there, but it was too hot. It was like 90 degrees a year ago, Mother's Day. So just a little over a year ago. It was crazy. Over 90 every day we were there, which is tough in that area. They're not really built for the heat. So
it gets hot. It gets hot here. Like there's a time in the summer where it's like 100, pushing that, but it's not like a humid heat. So you go into the shade, it's not so bad. And the humidity, like 85, feels like it's 100 here.
Yeah, it was humid in Seattle. Yeah, with the 90-degree heat, it was brutal. Brian says I would not bet against. Yes, I'm betting against the Vikings. Right, absolutely. Even with the whatever point spread they give us, I'm still betting against the Vikings. So we can revisit that week too. How about you, McNiner? You feel good about the Vikings game?
I really do. Because they're kind of in rebuild mode, minus like Justin Jefferson and Addison, their wide receivers. And they got a young quarterback and Sam Darnold. So it's not that, I don't think Sam Darnold can't beat us because you never know what will happen, right? Every NFL team's an NFL team. But I think he spent a year with us and our defense knows his tendencies. So I see us breaking that streak and getting a win. Been, 32 years?
Yeah.
1992, 32 years since we won at Minnesota.
That's wild. Sin says, I'm motivated by the sun, so it's Tampa week 10. I should be a game. By week 10, it shouldn't be so hot there. Like, Levi's is a terrible place to go in September, and so is Tampa, just because of the heat. In Santa Clara, it's the sun, and Tampa, it's the humidity. But both are brutal as far as heat goes. So, all right, so we're lockstep on that. But week 3, big game at the Rams, at Levi's South. Normally I say we own the Rams regular season. I don't know if it's at Levi's South or at Levi's, but I'm thinking the Rams take one from us this year. I don't think we sweep the Rams this year.
They might, but I honestly think they're going to miss Aaron Donald because a lot of these young defensive linemen they had decent numbers, but Donald was on the field eating up double teams, triple teams, and these guys weren't necessarily facing double and triple teams themselves. So now things are about to drastically change on their defensive line. I think they did draft a guy.
Yeah.
First, right?
Yep. First. That's the one.
So they did draft a guy, but a draft pick doesn't, all because you drafted him doesn't mean it's going to work out.
Or work out right away. And that's pretty right away,
Yeah.
week 3. Yeah. But I'm just thinking of their offense. You know, they revamped their O-line. They still have Stafford. They still have Cup. They still have Kyron Williams. They got a bunch of tight ends, Puka. They got a bunch of tight ends, and and then they got the guy Blake Corum from Michigan, who I think is a hell of a back. So, and running backs, unlike a lot of other positions, tend to translate pretty quickly into the NFL as long as they can block and receive. And I think I know he can receive. I'm not sure about the pass blocking part to pick up the blitz, but real quick, just go back to the Vikings. Brian said, did anyone expect to lose the Vikings? I mean, I was worried against the Vikings because, we were missing CMC, or CMC was back, but he was playing with a core muscle injury and he fumbled. When there was no Debo, there was no Trent Williams, and nobody expected Brock Purdy to get a concussion doing a QB sneak, and that happened. So, if something like that happens, Bryant, sure, I could see it happening. I'm not saying we can't lose to them. I'm just saying no way I'm betting on it. Absolutely no way. Primetime Cousins. Yeah, Cousins just shredded us. He had like one of his best games ever, especially in primetime. That's true. But he's gone. He's a Falcon now. So, it's your buddy Sam Area now, Bryant. Jason says, I got you, Ted. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. For a great burger. All right, good. That's key for me. I mean, I definitely like Ivar's for the seafood. It's like cheap, and you get like chowder and fish and chips, and like I think we got calamari, and it's great by the water. Loved it, but I also need my burger. That's just part of my thing. Sam Darnold is Tennessee for 2 turnovers. Yeah, especially against the Rams week 18 when he coughed it up. When we could have got Moody a game-winning field goal to help his confidence, and Sam Area said, no, we're not going to do that. All right, so let's keep going. So what's your pick for Rams at Levi South, McNiner?
I honestly think if they're going to take a game, it's going to be an early season game. And we're playing at what was it, Levi's Inglewood,
right? Yeah, aka SoFi, yeah.
So if they're going to take a game, it's going to be that game, because I don't see them coming to our house and winning.
There you go. I like it, because I might be there, so we'll see. We got the man cave in the house, my buddy. We were doing some Thursday shows for a while, and then he was getting some OT, and Big Mike couldn't pass up the dollars, and I told him, do what you got to do, man. Real life always comes first over the streaming stuff. So Sam about to look real good with all those weapons. He's like chiming in with Bryant now. They're in cahoots, these two. You can see what's going on now. Next thing you know, Big Mike's going to be agreeing with Randy Daytona. Then you know that something's rotten in Denmark. It's a long story, but Randy had done some comments and saying the Browns weren't going to make the playoffs last year, basically. And I was like, I disagree with you, Randy. And so did Mike, of course. He's a Browns fan. We were doing Faithful Dogs on Thursdays, and I'm sure we'll get back to it at some point. Either when
your coach actually won Coach of the Year, didn't he?
He did. Because Stefanski.
He had like 3 different starting quarterbacks, or
4.
maybe 4.
4, yeah. He had obviously Deshaun Watson, obviously Flacco. He also had the young guy,
PJ Walker, the guy that
beat us. And there was somebody else mixed in there. The one from UCLA.
That not the guy with two names. Bryant wanted to draft him. If I
he's
remember right.
DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Yep.
DTR. Yep. Yes. Yeah. No, there he goes. He got it. I think I beat you to it. I hope I did. I didn't see it anyway, so I got it on my own. Like, man. We'll see soon enough. DTR. There we go. He's down to run, baby. He's fast, that's for sure. And I kind of wanted the Niners to draft him myself, but I can see also like he doesn't really fit the sort of Brock Purdy system that we run. So you got to be mindful of that. I think that's the one thing that the Steelers do have synergy there, as I mentioned kind of earlier, with Russ and Justin Fields. If Russ goes down, I think Justin steps in. I don't think they have to really change much about the plays they're calling or whatever, the designing. It's kind of interchangeable.
Who's to say Russell Wilson's going to not lose the job to Justin Fields?
He might. Right? He might this summer. Yeah, you never know. I mean, crazier things have happened. I mean, the Russ's washed people would argue that. I just think it's going to take. I think Russ will start week 1 almost no matter what. I just think that whatever happens in camp, people go, well, it's camp. And I mean, unless Russ just falls apart completely, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think
they improved their offensive line via the draft, right?
Yeah. They got at least one,
and yeah, it's just we'll see what Pittsburgh ends up doing. Like Tomlin's never had a losing season.
Roma Dunze from Washington, the Huskies. So, and they got a few other good. I mean, a bunch of O linemen essentially, which is what you want. Oh wait, I'm getting mixed up here now. The Bears just got one lineman. I'm getting black and gold mixed up with black and yellow with the Steelers, black and red.
Bears only had 4 draft picks. I don't know if they traded. I didn't pay attention to any of that.
Well, they got some good ones early on, and that's the main time. All right, let's hit back to the schedule here. Patriots week 4, so that must be at Levi's. That's a win for me.
They're rebuilding. That's a win.
Yeah. Cards week 5, or maybe the bye week 5. I'm not scared of the Cards. Unless
I think
Kyler,
next year they might be a problem.
Yeah,
with all the draft picks they had this last year, and what they're building on from the year before. So next year they might be a problem.
Week 6 at Seattle, Thursday Night Football at the Sweep Talks. I'm giving us a win there too.
Same here. I think we own Geno.
Yeah, so. Geno's. Yeah, we're in his head. All right, here's a big one. Week 7, Chiefs at Levi's. I mean, you pretty much have to say lost, don't you?
At this point, yes.
We've never beat Andy Reid with Kyle. So, I mean, until Kyle proves he can do it, I just got to say we can't do it. I mean, I'm just going to, maybe something will happen between now and then. Maybe I'll change my mind the week of. But from now till then, I'm saying Chiefs beat us at Levi's again. Now, remember, though, the last time they beat us at Levi's, it was not just a regular game. I mean, Trent Williams and McGlinchey were both dinged up. Bosa was there, but he was playing with a strained calf, and so was Mooney Ward, both playing with strained calves. Eric Armstead was out. Jimmy Ward was back, first game back of the entire season, and it was like week 7 or 8 like this. And he was playing with a club on his hand because he kind of came back against the Panthers, but he broke his hand like the first play of the game, so it didn't really count. So Ward, first game back and club on his hand. Dre Greenlaw went down in the second quarter, pretty early in the second quarter, so he missed well over half the game. And then Jimmy threw the bonehead interception. right before the half, or we could have gone to halftime with the lead. It could have changed everything. So, but yeah, until we do, there's reasons why we lost, fine. But until we beat them, I just got to say we can't. They're our kryptonite until proven otherwise. So then we got Cowboys week 8. Talk about kryptonite. Except for this is reversed.
I'm going to chalk that up as a win.
Absolutely.
I don't think they have anything for us.
Absolutely. We're going to hear, what's his bucket, their star defensive player, Micah. He's going to be crying on social media before he'll be talking, and afterwards he'll be crying. And, that's just mark that one up. Big W against the Cowboys. Bears week 9.
I'm going to have to say W because they're in a rebuild. They did pick Caleb Williams, but no one ever knows if he's actually going to work out until a couple seasons into it, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's reasonable to assume that it's going to take him a little bit of time. I will say, as much of a Caleb Williams detractor as I've been, I wasn't even sure maybe he should go number 1 overall, and even if he does, it's only because QBs are super overvalued. But when was the first USC wide receiver drafted? Wasn't it 6th round, 5th round? Was it Jerry Rice Jr.?
Brendan Rice went in the 6th round. I don't know when Tage Washington went, but
they weren't high. They weren't in the top 3 rounds or 4 rounds. So I think that's anyone who's talking trash about Caleb, including myself. I'm putting myself in that category. I'm not a Caleb Williams believer, but this is one thing in the back of my mind that's Ted, you might be wrong. When none of your receivers go high and somehow you're got this high flying offense, that's got to be a feather in Caleb Williams' cap. So, or the scouts just got it wrong, one or the other. But it's one of those things. And like I said, it's kind of when I trash talk him, it's that's bothering me that could be an issue. All right, so Sin's game, Cinnamon Kiss is going to be in Tampa week 10 at the Bucks. Got Baker Mayfield. They got a defensive end. What do you know in the draft? They love their DNs there, whether it's Shaquille Barrett or Jason Pierre-Paul or whoever their DNs are. They always have good ones in Tampa. I was there when we beat the Bucks with the 49ers Faithful UK folks in the gold mine. What do you think? You think that's a W for the good guys, or you think Tampa's too much for us?
The Bucks?
Yeah.
I think that's a W.
I think so too. All right. And then 11 is either a bye or the Cardinals. We kind of already talked about the Cards, so I'm just going to not talk about them. And let's dive in on week 12. This is a huge one, in my opinion. Maybe the biggest game of the year for us, maybe the second biggest game of the year for us, or third. I mean, I'm thinking the 3 biggest games for us. Granted, we play the Rams twice. The 3 biggest opponents for us are Rams. I just talked about them. Week 12, we got the Packers in Green Bay, and then we got the Lions week 17. I think those are our 3 biggest opponents because I think they're probably the 3 best teams in the NFC, not named the 49ers. Maybe 2, 3, and 4.
I'm honestly expecting a loss because, while we do pretty good against the Packers in the playoffs, as of late, not when they had Brett Favre, but as of late, during the regular season, they do even with Aaron Rodgers, without Aaron Rodgers, whatever. I honestly think we're going to be losing that game, and it's a backy swing. Right, because we have another one back there.
Yeah, we got the Bills afterwards at the Bills Sunday Night Football week 13. So, all right, you're saying loss to the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with you. I'll ride loss on that one. I think Jordan Love's a hell of a QB. They got him more weapons. They drafted a lot of good-looking defenders. I think they did. I think they did well in the draft and the offseason and the free agency, better than us, I'll say. And so, yeah, I think and they almost beat us in the divisional round. Now, granted, it was raining, but very well could be raining in Green Bay, week 11. So, yeah, week 12. Oh, wait, that was week 12. Sorry. Packers, week 12 at Lambeau. Then Bills, week 13, Orchard Park, Buffalo. Sunday Night Football. How are you feeling about facing Josh Allen in Buffalo?
I honestly like our chances. And the main reason why is you put the pressure on Josh Allen, which is something our team is built to do. He tends to make mistakes.
Yep.
And you know how our defensive backfield took a big leap forward and started, getting interceptions and turnovers. So I'm chalking this up as a W because we're going to be putting the pressure on Josh Allen.
Me too. Especially also because, they lost Stephon Diggs. They lost Gabe Davis. I think they drafted a wide receiver or two, but, Stephon Diggs is arguably one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. So at least when he's playing hard. So there is some motor issues with him. But, yeah, I'll give us a W there, too. All right, Seahawks, week 14 at Levi's. I'll probably be there. That's usually one of the – I don't know. We'll see. I've been going to Seahawks every year. I think I'm going to find other home games that are going to be more appealing to me than the Sweep Talks this year. But we'll see. But you got that as a W for us as well, too, McNiner?
Oh, yeah. We own Gino at this point.
I think so, yeah. I see that. Sweep Talks get swept again. I'm going with that. Rams, Thursday Night Football at Levi's. You're saying late in the season you've got us. You said it earlier. I'll go with you there too, and I'll say W for the Niners. And we got an interesting one, week 16, back in Miami against the Dolphins, against another protege, Mike McDaniel. Team speed. They drafted another crazy fast running back to go with A-Chain and Mostert, Waddle, Tyreek Hill, obviously. How you feeling about Dolphins week 16 in Miami?
I'm honestly, I kind of feel like we could lose this one. I'm chalking it up as a loss.
Okay.
But, it's going to be like one of those tight games.
Yeah, I could see that. And then Lions Monday Night Football at Levi's week 17.
I think that's a W, buddy. I mean, the Lions did put up a fight, in the NFC Championship game, and it's almost like our team wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. I feel like they did some good things in the draft. They got a lot of good defenders. I don't know. I might split with you on this one and say we lose to the Lions. I don't know. It's tough. There'll be a lot on the line likely too, which would make it a tough loss. And then Cardinals week 18. So let's add them up real quick. So do we both have a win over the Jets? I think we did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 1-0. Vikings would make it 2-0.
13-4 is what I got.
Okay. Rams would be 2-1. Patriots 3-1. Cards 4-1, Seattle 5-1, Chiefs 5-2, Cowboys 6-2, Bears 7-2, Bucks 8-2, Packers 8-3, Bills 9-3, Seahawks 10-3, Rams 11-3, Dolphins 11-4. So I got us 12-5. You got us 13-4. I usually come in around 12-5 or 13-4 the last few years for this team, and that's been
last year. I actually picked 13-4, and we could have done it, but then we went into the last week and didn't need to actually win that game.
I might have gone 11-6 last year because I thought I don't know what I thought. I'm just leave it alone. But I was
right on two of the losses.
I thought Purdy wasn't going to be ready. Right.
I picked the Browns as a loss, and I picked the Ravens as a loss. Then I picked the Turkey Day game against the Seahawks as a loss. But I'm honestly not even remembering what my fourth one was.
That's freaking awesome.
At this point.
Nice. Well, so there you have it, folks. McNiner has us 13-4. I've got us 12-5. Either way, we're going to be one of the top seeds in the NFC. and maybe home field advantage again through the playoffs, which would be nice. We'll see if it all comes true. But we're a little bit over an hour here.
Don't forget, folks, we're streaming on both channels, so pop on over to mine and hit the like real quick. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And tune in because Ted's going live here shortly. What do you got?
Yeah, in about an hour and a half with Aaron from 49ers First Takes, Bash from 49er Minded, and of course the incomparable Raj from our SF 49ers. Bash is back, people. Back again. Yeah. Bash is back. Tell a friend. Bash is back.
I'm actually going live at, I believe it's 7 your time.
Nice.
But it's the typical Wednesday night. You know, normally we do trivia or NFL picks. But this time we're actually talking about the schedule, and it's going to be a big panel show. So
there you go. Well, I'll tell people to bounce on over when we finish up if they haven't done so already by then.
All right.
Well, thanks, David. It's always fun. It's been a pleasure. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 3:20 Pacific, 6:20 Eastern. Just say peace and go Niners.
Go Niners. F all 31 other teams.
There we go.